So we are back with part 6 of the top 100 GoPro asked questions on the internet. And there are still 65 left. So let's try to fly through 15 of these really quick. And I also have a link to the playlist where you can watch the first 5 parts of the series and get all caught up with those other questions. Some of them are very fun and very knowledgeable, and some of them are really dumb. And probably gonna be some dumb ones today, but we're here for all of the top 100.
Mr. Black.
By the way, welcome to the channel. My name is Danny Black, and if you are new here, don't be a stranger. Click that button right there. Links can be found down in the description. Plus, I have some really good coupon codes to some great GoPro accessories down there, and a surprise link. And also a big thanks to Artlist. If you're looking for some really, really good royalty-free music for your videos, well, definitely check out Artlist because I use them a lot. So I will sprinkle an ad and tell you a little bit more about that somewhere in this video. But if you do duck out early, you can check the link in the description or the pinned comment if you want to check it out, and you should, because I love it. All right, so the first one on the random generator, how to connect GoPro to TV. Okay, so back in the day, like for example, the 7, GoPros would actually have built-in HDMI out right there. I mean, you connect it to that and you would go out HDMI into your TV or whatever you want to monitor it with. And then GoPro thought, not everybody uses that function or needs that function, so let's just get rid of it and fill that space with some really good quality specs and other cool features. And since the Hero 9, the only way to actually connect it to a TV is using the media mod. So at this top slot right there, you will see a micro HDMI out, and then you can preview the GoPro camera itself, or you can watch all the videos that you've just created that are on your gallery. All right, next. Why is GoPro not showing up on Mac? This actually happens to me too when I plug my GoPro directly from the GoPro to the computer, you know, USB-C. It doesn't show up the same way as like when I take the SD card out and put it in the SD card reader. So when you actually plug this in through USB-C in Final Cut Pro or any other video editing programs, you can use import and it should show up there, or an image capture app. It just doesn't show up like an external drive, which I kind of wish it did, but it doesn't. Now, if you're not seeing it come up in your Final Cut Pro or whatever you're using, there are ways to reactivate your hardware settings on your computer, and I'll put a link to step-by-step instructions on how to do that down in the description. So if you need to find the password to connect to your GoPro's Wi-Fi, you're gonna swipe down to the settings, swipe over, you're gonna click Connections, then find Camera Info, and that gives you the information right there. Now, if you wanna change that password or that name, you can go back to Connections and you can scroll to the bottom and hit Reset Connections, but just know that these are automatically generated. You can't actually have your own custom name or custom password, which I guess it would be cool, but can't. Number 4, man, we are cruising. Will there be a Max 2? Well, actually I have it right here. Let me show you. Music can make or break your video project. Believe me, I know I have spent hours upon hours searching for that perfect song only to just get that dreaded copyright strike. But then I signed up for Artlist, and over the past year, it's been a breeze. Now this might sound like an ad, but this is exactly what I'd be saying to my friends or family if they're looking for some good music for their videos. Just get on their website, browse through the library, maybe type in some keywords, search by mood or genre, and you can easily find that great song that will stay royalty-free on your video. Now, there are a lot of other music companies to choose from, but I find that Artlist has some of the highest quality of songs that should be on the radio. Now, if you are someone looking for that music and considering it, please do me a favor and click the link in the description or the pinned comment just to let them know that I sent you. And if you sign up for a full year subscription, you get 2 extra months for free. I love it and highly recommend it. And just go click the link right now and listen to some of the songs. Well, maybe not right now. Let's finish the video first. So expect that to come out very soon and you're gonna be blown away. All right, so the next one. Are GoPro batteries waterproof? So I'm assuming that you asked because you got your GoPro battery wet. Maybe you just dropped a little bit of water on it, or maybe it just fell in a puddle, or maybe it fell into the ocean. I will say that they are not waterproof. However, depending on how much it was submerged in the water, I think you could be okay with just taking it out, drying it off, maybe throwing it in a bag of rice overnight just to make sure all the moisture's out. The main thing is you don't want to get any water on that part right there so that when you go into the GoPro, it doesn't short out any of the connections through that. If you drop it into salt water, I would say be very careful of that because that could really corrode this, and probably it might be a lot cheaper to get a new battery than it would be to replace your whole GoPro, unless you have the subscription. All right, so next one. How to get GoPro without fisheye. Funny thing about GoPros is they've had that like fisheye warp effect from the beginning, and it's kind of become a staple look. The GoPro look also gives you that curvature to the earth, right? But that's mainly in like super view, you know, there's like super view, and then there's wide, which has maybe a little bit of that, but if you go in a little bit more, you have linear and you have narrow, and that would get rid of that warped effect. But also if you have the max lens mod on, make sure you put it in max lens mod mode, otherwise it will definitely have that GoPro look. All right, here's the next one. How to use spot metering. So spot metering is a really underrated feature, and I could probably make a whole, and I probably should make a whole video on how to use that. But you know what? I just answered that question on like maybe a few months ago when I did like 5 tips for beginners on GoPro. So let's just roll that one. So you push your finger down to activate it, and you can move this little bracket around until it's at the brightness level that you want to keep. You can also even go in and manually adjust the EV balance a little bit just to give you a little bit more control. And once it's perfect, you actually click the little brackets and you can lock it in place. And this will actually give you better overall quality on your videos. So why would you even need something like that? Well, if you're doing a long time lapse or a long shot and you have different levels of exposure coming out, like maybe in a time lapse, the clouds are blocking the sun sometimes, you don't want your exposure to be bouncing all over the place. It's really nice to lock that. And a lot of people don't utilize it, or they just kind of forget about it, but it's really great. All right, will GoPro bring back the Session? I don't think that they'll bring back the Session. It seems like there's a lot of demand for it. I mean, I think people want to see these hero cameras get smaller and smaller and have amazing specs in them, but then you'll get people complaining and being like,
oh, it's overheating. Oh, I can't control it. Oh, the screen's too small. Oh, the sensor's too small.
They'll complain about it at every turn. So I don't know if it's worth it to have a Session. The Action 2, in my opinion, is a really good Session replacement though, if you really need a Session. All right, we're cooking here. All right, how to update GoPro. Okay, well, there's 2 ways to update your GoPro. When you connect your GoPro to your phone via the Quick app, it'll prompt you to let you know that there's new firmware and you can download it straight through there. Just make sure that when you're doing that, let it download all the way and update. Don't take a call or play Candy Crush in the middle of that. Just let it get through, otherwise there could be problems. The other way to do it, if you are having problems for some reason, is on their website. You can actually download their firmware update and you put it on the SD card, and then you take that SD card out of your computer, put it in your GoPro, turn it on, and it will update just like that. Okay, next one here. Is the Volta worth it? When you're crunching the numbers, yes, the GoPro Volta is worth it. This is actually really handy, especially if you're using the media mod, because changing the batteries on your media mod is a pain in the butt. So it's so nice to have this on and you have this extra battery power. It gives you a lot of battery, gives you a remote control, gives you a tripod. And I mean, I wish that it would have maybe like a selfie stick. That would have probably been better. But when you crunch the numbers, it's actually worth it. Yeah. And if you have a subscription, it's even more worth it. And by the way, I don't get anything out of you getting a subscription. I just think it's a good value. Does the GoPro have night vision? No, it doesn't. Kind of cool if it did. I think I said that on my Hero 11, like what I'd like to see. But if you're looking to shoot GoPro at night and it's not looking good, check out this video I will put right here, and you can see the settings that I use to record at night, and it will look a lot better. Turn off hyper smooth, change the ISO, and do stuff like that. Yeah. All right, here's the next one. How to use a GoPro with remote. Well, first of all, connecting your GoPro to your remote is very easy. So you swipe down to your settings, swipe over, click connections, click connect device, and then click the remote. And then you make sure your remote is in pairing mode, and the GoPro will find it immediately in pair. And then you can use the remote, and it's really cool, especially because you can control a bunch of different GoPros. Actually, check out the video I did on this Telesin one. I show you all about how to use it and all the features that you can do with it. I'll put the link up there or down in the description. You can check that out. And if you want to buy this one right here, I put a link down in the description with a coupon code, and you can save some money. It's a really nice one. All right, here we go, a few more. Why does GoPro get hot? Oh, I knew we were gonna get this one. Now, there are several reasons behind it, but the main thing is you have a small little camera that does a lot of stuff in like waterproof body, so there's just poor ventilation. I mean, it's a fast processor and you have really high specs, high frame rates, high resolution. It's doing a lot and consuming a lot of power. So naturally it's going to heat up faster, and if you're shooting at lower qualities, it's gonna heat up slower or probably not heat up at all. Also, it doesn't help if it's already really hot outside. So try to keep this thing out of direct sunlight. And you also might have a slow memory card that also could heat it up pretty quickly because it's not able to keep up with the information. So I use this one right here. Link will be down in the description. That one is really great. For me, it only overheats when I'm trying to make it overheat. The other thing you can look at is making sure that you're up to date with the latest firmware, because GoPro is always tinkering with it. If there's complaints that are coming in, people are having problems, they'll figure out what's going on and they will resolve that in a firmware update. All right, GoPro or iPhone 13? iPhone 13 Pro or the GoPro? That is a tricky one. I love the iPhone 13. I film a lot of stuff with it. It does a lot more things that the GoPro can't, especially getting those close-up shots, having that fixed focus and bokeh background. However, I wouldn't take my iPhone on a selfie stick going on a skateboard, like, because I feel like it's gonna fall off or crack or something like that. This is better for action, like if you're going skiing, if you're going surfing. You're not gonna be taking your phone, you're gonna be taking a GoPro. But also, I do like how small the GoPro is if I wanna get it in tight places, or if I just wanna be a little less inconspicuous when I'm vlogging. Also, maybe you don't have a lot of space on your phone, and it's nice to have the GoPro and extra SD cards and stuff like that. There's a lot of reasons, so I'm gonna say both. All right, here we go. Last one for the week. GoPro or Insta360? Okay, so here's the thing. Insta360 is coming out with a lot of innovative products, like all the time. Also, Insta360 has a much better app, like a lot more effects, a lot easier to use and edit and export and all of that stuff. And at the moment, GoPro is still the camera people are going to see in the store and pick up because they know the name. People think GoPro, they think quality, they think that cool immersive shot, and the fact that they know it's gonna work and it's easy to use. Some people, like maybe more on a mass level, will be more intimidated by products like the 360 cameras or the modular one like the Insta360 One RS, because people just want to get a camera and start filming with it. They don't want to tinker around with the modular stuff. But I will say, having used both of them a lot, and I love Insta360, it's very fun. That 360 One X2 is probably the most fun I've had with a camera, like just with a family or whatever, just like taking out, getting some cool shots, showing them how I can reframe it and do all that stuff. It's really fun to impress people with it. And I have some really good plans with it coming up. Like I have cruise ships and some traveling, so you're gonna see some really cool 360 kind of videos coming up. Quality-wise, they're both great, and the One RS is also really great. The fact that you can use it as an action camera, or you can put on the 360 module and have that ready to go. The 1-inch sensor, there's a lot you can do with that camera. I just think it's a bit intimidating for people that don't know the name Insta360 and the fact that modular cameras, what does that mean? What do I need to buy? And that's like a good lesson that sometimes you need to evolve your products. Just like when you go from the Hero 1 to the Hero 3, you're just getting incremental differences. And then from the 3 to the 7, it's gonna be nice differences, but like it's not, you know, people are still familiar with it. And then you could see how this is just evolving a little bit more to get people more comfortable with it and how to use it. They understand it, they've been following it, and it's not too far off from the first one. But also, I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you made it this far in the video. You know, do you like the Insta360? Do you like GoPro? What are your thoughts on any of the things that I've addressed today? If you have better answers to these questions, I'm happy to see you write them down there. And you know what? We're gonna keep going with the series because now we have 50 left. Whew. So Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Mr. Black.